Amy worked with Coach Melissa, had an absolutely amazing session. She made a fantastic kind of recap post in our members group, and I messaged her and asked her if she'd be kind enough to hop on with me and kind of talk about her experience with us. Hello, Amy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be
here. Yeah. I'm excited you're here. It's a sunny day. It is finally not gray and pouring and windy. We live a town over from each other, so we've got at least pretty close to the same weather.
Yes, much better today.
Okay, so I'm going to try to remember all these questions. I'm telling you, I may forget them.
No worries.
I told everyone your name is Amy. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. My name is Amy Flood, and I've been married for 32 years. I have 3 children and 6 grandsons, so my life's very busy. And we have a sweet dog named Audi. She's a little schnauzer. So I have lots going on in my life, and I love CrossFit. So I've been doing CrossFit for 11 years. I go to CrossFit Krypton, and I go 5 days a week for about an hour.
That's awesome.
And then we're very involved in our church, our local church. So we host a lot of people in our home regularly. So I'm often cooking for large groups of people. Trying to think what else you need to know. We're empty nesters, so that's nice. I have definitely way more time in my life to exercise than most people. I work just 3 days a week part-time as a nanny for my niece. So I have a lot of free time to devote to my health and my exercise.
Awesome. That's a killer description. I love that you work out as often as you do. You have the luxury of choice now. You have a lot more free time. You can do anything you want to do, and you choose to go to Krypton 5 days a week and mix it up.
Yeah, when I was younger, we had kids, and I definitely did not have time to do as much as I do now. I ran just because it was easy, and I could just run out the door for 20 minutes and come back, but nothing very structured until probably 11 years ago. I started actually going to the gym, but I'm not an athlete. I'm not even coordinated.
You are an athlete, Amy. You do athletic things 5 days a week. By very definition, you are an athlete. You can embrace it. Wear that hat.
Okay. I just mean I didn't grow up like playing any sports. That's why I love CrossFit, because I can just try to learn a new skill. It's mentally stimulating and physically. I really like it. I love our gym.
CrossFit's amazing. I love it, and that'll probably be perfect segue into question 2. I love I love on a personal level, I love CrossFit. I love what it did for me. But I especially love coaching folks that do CrossFit, because people that do athletic things have the benefit of feeling the effects of their fueling versus all of the things equal. If they weren't doing CrossFit, they could see the data and they could see measurements and weight and all those things, but they wouldn't be able to feel it as much. So next question. What brought you to signing up with Falcon Nutrition? Where were you with things? What changes were you looking to make?
Well, my friend Jackie Johnson, she goes to the gym with me, and also Kat Cummings. I knew her. She was our lobby receptionist for a while until she moved, and they both use Falcon. And I loved the results that they had, because they were my age or a little bit older, not much, but a little bit. And I saw them actually making progress at their age, which I didn't think was possible. And I was still uncomfortable with what I looked like in my clothes, even though I worked out a lot. I didn't look like I did. And I wanted to look better in my clothes, fit better. And I also wanted to have some more skills that I didn't have at CrossFit. I was a little too heavy. At least I thought I was a little too heavy to do some of the skills, and not as I don't know, even just doing sit-ups. My stomach was in the way. My flexibility was not as good. And just confidence about myself. I don't know. I wanted to like myself.
Yeah. I mean, all that makes perfect sense.
But they encouraged me. My friends were really happy with the results, and they loved you guys and said you were really friendly, helpful, and that it was personal for each.
I mean, Kat is one of my favorite people ever. So I worked out. I think you know that. I was at Krypton for a little bit, just for about one summer, and it was probably 4 or 5 years ago now, but Kat was the front desk. She was, the smiling face every morning when I was walking in there grumpily, like, oh God, another morning here. And there was Kat. But then I coached her. We turned into very, very good friends. Emma coached Jackie, and she thinks, I think how I feel about Kat is how Emma, is for Jackie. So I love that. It's very like close knit, I
Yeah.
guess. It always seems to go that coaching is a very relationship driven, like pilot and co-pilot.
Well, we do have a really great nutritionist at our gym, which was something that I did go to some of the classes,
Yep.
there, and they were very, very helpful. I just needed, I don't know if this makes sense, but maybe someone that I didn't see all the time who would not be mean to me, but be more strict about, what I needed to do.
We see that
I don't
a lot.
want to say, but I needed someone who kind of didn't know me to maybe like, I don't know. Anyways,
No,
I love the help that they have. Great help there. It had nothing to do with that personally. I just was like, well, I think I need someone on the outside.
Yeah, no, I follow her on social.
Yeah,
She
she's
puts
fantastic.
out great stuff. She looks like she's
Yeah,
amazing at like the relationship side of it. I'm the
she
exact
is.
same way. Most people are the exact same. You need like at least a small degree or layer of separation. There needs to be a
Mhm.
little bit of almost fear factor
Yeah,
for the heightened accountability. We have partnerships with a handful of CrossFit gyms. They have amazing in-house nutritionists that are also on their
yeah.
staff that coach classes. For most
Mhm.
people, if I see you every day and we get too close, like too buddy, it's like, well, I'm not really afraid. At that point, we're both just going to laugh about it if I mess up. I need someone that I'm afraid of to coach me, and that's just how most people
Yeah.
can do the best, myself included. So you decided, okay, I see these ladies around me that are making these big changes. I know how I want to feel. I know the things I want to be able to do in the gym, and then quality of life wise, I want to carry myself in a way that reflects, the pride that I take in working on myself. So how would you describe your time? You worked with Coach Missy, Coach Melissa. How would you describe your time working with her, and then within, the program?
Well, I loved her. She was always very encouraging. We had one thing that's a big deal to me is my faith.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little bit nervous about being coached by someone who didn't understand that about me, that God is a big part of who I am. And Melissa was also a believer in Christ. And so she came at it for me from a different way than maybe a different coach would, which I'm not saying one way is better than the other. But for me personally, when
Yeah.
I told her that's what I needed someone that would maybe pray for me, or someone that would come at me as my worth is found in Christ, not
Yep.
in my food.
Yep.
And so for me personally, I love that you guys had someone on your team that wanted to know me, the real
Yeah.
me inside my body house that I have.
Yeah.
And that they were good about that. She also was very matter of fact, which I needed. I needed a clear plan, not
Yep.
just, well, you could try this and you could try that and maybe you
Right.
could try this. No,
Yeah.
she was like, let's start here. And then when I would do well, she was always like, really happy for me. And if I had a bad week, she wouldn't like get after me, but she would just like, try this next time. Let's do this better. And
Yep.
I always need more encouragement than criticism for my personality. So
Yep.
she was totally there for me with that. She would correct it, but it wasn't like I did the worst possible thing ever, so I
Yeah.
respond a lot better. Some people don't respond, but I do better when people say, good job, Amy, you did a really good
That's no,
job.
most people want to hear, and we're not like blowing smoke. Most people want to hear that someone is proud of them. No one
Yes.
likes to disappoint anyone. And so we as coaches, I think a lot of people think that that's what coaching is, or maybe should be. But even when people say, I need tough love, I want tough love, like I don't need a cheerleader, just really come down hard on me. Like that doesn't go so well for anyone. We don't really like, especially if it's forced. Like if you ask me to do that and that's not how I coach, then it just feels awkward. But most people don't respond well to that. What I love, one, you two are an amazing pairing because everything that Melissa does starts with God.
Yeah.
She volunteers at church, on and off. She has sung at church. All of her kids have been raised that way. So that was a fantastic pairing anyhow. But just the way she coaches, she has a very, not that it's if coaching had bedside manner, because we're not doctors and there is no bed, her just, I guess, her relationship, her communication skills, empathy. She's raised five kids herself, so I think she kind of like understands how patience and grace are two good things.
We just have a lot in common, and I think we have similar activities that we did. So she knows that always when you're with groups of people from church, there's food, and like you're trying really hard not to hurt people's feelings because they made something special for you, or you're trying not to eat too much at so many gatherings when there's like 4 in 1 week. So I really, I know that the Lord, when you two put us together, so that was really helpful for me to be able.
That makes me super, super happy to hear. I'm really glad that we made that match, and that's what it can often boil down to, is literally at that snapshot in time, the coach that you got paired up with was that who you needed in your life at that moment. How would you describe the things that she asked you to treat as focus areas relative to what you thought maybe you would have been tasked with? Was it kind of what you expected? Anything surprising?
Definitely the 9,000 steps a day was surprising to me, because I thought if I work out for an hour a day really hard, which we do, that would be plenty. I did not think I would have to do more exercise.
Yeah.
So that shocked me. And the protein amount, like the macros, I didn't understand macros really. I mean, I tried before to understand them, but I never tracked them. So that was something new. Where she started me out of my calories surprised me too. It was more than I thought.
Yeah. It is for most people.
I was like, what? I can eat that much? Because that's okay. I won't starve. Like, I first thought, well, maybe they're going to put me on, 900 calories a day.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm going to be like
No.
dying on the floor and, whatever. Like, I didn't know. I had no expectation really, except that what Jackie had told me, some of her journey. But so I knew a little bit. But I think just the water, all of it, really, the water, drinking enough water.
Yep.
I'm pretty good at that, but I wasn't as good as I thought once I was tracking it. And then just walking,
Yeah. So more so than the 9,000 steps and this set of macros and here's, this is your water goal. Do you understand now sort of the hows and the whys behind those whats? Like you understand the role they play, and like you've demonstrated firsthand for yourself how focusing on NEAT and not just exercise, like, okay, now you're the person that walking, you understand now the difference it can make, that sort of thing.
Yes, definitely. I feel a ton better. I think I'm learning to understand that it's not complicated. It's just you have to do it, And it's
a great book title right there.
Yeah. It's not complicated. Just do it.
Yeah.
And my mom always said something to me, and I put it in my comments. She always tells me hard is hard, but hard is not bad. I'm like, well,
ooh, another good book title.
Yeah, it is hard, but it's not that hard, and it's not that bad. And the results were such a blessing to me. Like, I don't know. I can't even, when I started even just losing 1 pound, I was so excited. I'm like, it's working. Like, this actually works. So I think that motivated me to try harder.
Yeah.
You wanted
momentum to going.
Yeah, I wanted to please Melissa too. Like, when you have to check in every week, it's like, okay, someone's gonna make sure. I was like, eek. Like,
yeah.
Not that she would have been mad at me, but I didn't even want to make her unhappy.
No. But you did it right. The fact that she had opportunities with you to coach. Some people take it on and they hide from life. I know I cook for a lot of people every Sunday after church and sometimes during the week for small groups. Just everything that's in your normal life, there's people that do the program and they hide from it because they want to be perfect. Perfection's great. Not really, because you have no coachable moments, and all those things are still going to be in your life when your session wraps. So I tell people, live life, like stumble, hit the speed bumps, put it in reverse, run over the same speed bump again in reverse. But those are the moments that you have with your coach to truly learn and really reap the value from coaching. So we as coaches love it. That's probably why she loved you so much, because you kind of stayed living life on your terms. You just learned how to improve those terms in relation to the goals that you had.
Yeah, we traveled a lot because our grandkids, 3 of them live in Michigan. And so I fly pretty much every other month to go visit.
Oh, wow.
And that was a big factor to like getting off of your normal workout schedule, your normal eating schedule, being stuck in the airport. So I was always like, okay, I'm doing this. What do I do? What do I do? So she was really helpful with that too.
Yeah. I mean, that was perfect then. All the things that are going to stay in your rotation, experiencing them with a coach in your corner means not a lot of new post-coaching life, which is sort of where you are now, right? So you've wrapped with Melissa. Before I started recording, we were chatting about kind of where you are with things and exploring, trying to tap into the sweet spot, which always takes a little bit, figure out where you are, where your actual range that you want to maintain long-term is. But when you were working with Melissa, what your day-to-day looked like versus now, how would you compare the two?
Pretty much the same. I was trying to build habits that I can stick with. You know, I take my water with me everywhere. I tried to get the extra walk in the afternoon or in the morning. I tracked my food not as carefully as I had when, you know, they're watching it. I still want to track. I feel like a little bit insecure about not tracking yet. Because I can easily just watch TV and eat something and not pay attention, or grab something off the counter that, like, even just grapes. I was talking and eating grapes and I'm like, wait, I think I just ate 2 cups full of grapes while I was just yakking away. So it's very easy for me to grab a piece of cheese and eat, like, so I still need to track.
Yep.
But otherwise I've been trying to get good sleep. You know, it just makes me much more conscious of taking care of myself, and I mentally feel like I'm checking those boxes regularly instead of having to look at a piece of paper and, you know, mark them.
Yeah. I mean, so that's everything. The idea is to not rewire your default way of living, but sort of get the right things on your radar to where you've demonstrated yourself the importance of them. You've demonstrated the difference it makes, and then they're yours to choose. Are these things important enough to stay being executed on and prioritized, which sounds like they are for sure. So I like, without any doubt, I can tell you that 3 years from now, you will continue to be successful, because the only way that one regresses if they stop doing those things, stop caring about those things. Typically, once you can taste the difference and see just how much they do for you, it's very difficult to stop caring. Even if you want to lie to yourself and say, you know, to your point, we use the word hard. And in a lot of my posts, I say, choose your hard. It's hard to feel miserable and wish we could do a pull-up and wish we could, you know, carry ourselves differently. It's also hard to be someone that cares about what they're eating, be someone that has a step count, you know, so choose your hard. And really, the hard that you chose was as hard as you thought it was. It required thinking about some things, but we didn't ask you to run a marathon every day or anything like that.
It wasn't too bad. I have to consciously, because we have more of a sedentary lifestyle after like 4 o'clock. My husband gets home, we eat dinner. We usually have been going all day, so we'll rest in the evening and can watch TV for several hours, you know? So that is I had to stop eating like after 5 for most of the time, just because if I don't tell myself, you're done eating dinner, that's it, then I would just keep that. So learning how to, but that's not every day, but most days, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We eat early, we're old, you know.
I don't know about all that.
If we go out to dinner, we go out at 4, you know, so we can have our dinner earlier. And that helps me just try, because then I'm not as tempted to eat the whole rest of the house. But even last night, I did really good until 6:30. And then I had this binge of something. So obviously I was off of my protein maybe earlier in the day. So then I look at that and be like, okay, what did I do in the day that made me so hungry at night? And I know now I have the tools that I can be like, I can fix this,
Yeah.
not just feel like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my life forever.
No,
So-
now you can be Wreck-It Ralph and Fix-It Felix all on the same day, right? You can,
Exactly.
but now you have
Like,
the tools.
okay, tomorrow I'm going to eat more protein at 2:00 so that I'm not starving at 7. You know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a fantastic place to be. That's why I say all the time, I wish nothing we do is proprietary, right? We've developed a way to deliver evidence-based math and science. Essentially, it's very relationship driven, but it's not really groundbreaking. It's getting you focused on the right things and then trying to get you to the point where you can do exactly what you just said. Okay, around this time I felt this way, this is how I reacted. Let me review what I did earlier that led up to that, and let me course correct because tomorrow is going to be here soon. So that's amazing. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm super happy for you.
I'm very grateful for you guys, and I would definitely recommend you to anyone that has tried all the things or even hasn't, you know, and just wants to be healthier. I made so many big leaps even in CrossFit in 6 months. I was like, this is crazy. I could just do pull-ups, which I haven't been able to do.
It's so huge. It's like, in my opinion, one of the coolest PRs there is.
Yeah. Honestly, I've been trying for 11 years, and I work hard at it. And the strict ones, I can do kipping pull-ups, but it was a strict, actual pull-up to pull my body. Handstand push-ups, we're learning, and I have various levels of those that depend on the day, but overall I can be upside down. I can walk a few, steps on my hands. I can do double unders now. Without peeing, which was weird to me. And I know maybe, but something changed where I definitely have more control.
Yeah. Well, you got
my body
leaner, lighter, and stronger. Probably all good things for everything you just mentioned.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic combo. Every time you post, I end up smiling. So you're definitely a light within our group. I appreciate that. And I think that's all the questions that I have for you. I really appreciate you, again, taking an hour out of your day today, Amy, especially when it's finally sunny after no sunshine in like 10 days now. It's still windy.
No worries. I'm happy to do it.